This is Patricia Sharbaugh from St. Vincent College doing a reflection on the scriptures for Easter Sunday, April 17th, 2022. When I attended seminary, I remember being introduced to the traditional Paschal greeting of the Eastern Orthodox Church. On Easter Sunday, one parishioner greets another with the words, "He is risen." The greeted parishioner responds, "He is risen indeed." The shared joy that is conveyed by this greeting expresses the wonder of Easter. In John's Gospel, when Mary Magdalene comes to the empty tomb, her first response is not wonder or joy, but confusion and alarm. She thinks someone has stolen the body of Jesus, and she runs to find Peter and the beloved disciple. Peter and the beloved disciple race to the tomb. Peter, the beloved disciple, and Mary respond to the empty tomb in different ways. The beloved disciple bends down, sees the burial cloths, but does not go in. Peter goes right into the empty tomb and sees the cloths. The account tells us that though the beloved disciple believes, they did not yet understand what it all meant. It ends with Peter and the beloved disciple returning home while Mary, weeping, stays at the empty tomb. It is not until Mary has an encounter with the risen Christ that her confusion, sadness, and grief give way to joy. 3 different disciples, 3 different responses to resurrection. We can find hope in these different responses. While Easter is a day for joy, it is also a day of mystery. Each one of us is called to wrestle with how to understand the resurrection. Some of us may have recently experienced the death of a loved one, and while we try to appreciate the joy of the resurrection, we are still experiencing overwhelming feelings of loss. Some of us run right into the empty tomb and immediately feel the joy of it, even though we might not fully understand what it means. Others have lived from this truth for so long, we no longer feel its surprise, but continually long to more fully let the resurrection inform the way we live our lives. There are many aspects to the meaning of the resurrection. The resurrection confirms that the way Jesus lived his life is the way God desires each of us to live, with our hearts full of love for God and neighbor, reaching out to the poor, to sinners, comforting the sick, teaching others the way of life Jesus has taught us. The resurrection assures us that God has conquered sin, brings life from death, and loves us with the fullness of self-sacrificial, redemptive love. In John's Gospel, when Mary is weeping at the empty tomb, Jesus tells her, "Go to my brothers and tell them, I'm going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Jesus tells Mary, and through her, all of us, that the deepest aspect of the resurrection is that Jesus' Father is our Father, and his God, our God. Furthermore, wherever we go, Christ's presence through the Holy Spirit will go with us. The mystery of the resurrection continually touches us because our lives are hidden with Christ in God. Though we all might have different responses as we encounter the resurrection, we are all one family, branches on the one true vine, identified with Jesus as children of God, empowered to be children through the Holy Spirit. Easter marks our movement with Mary from darkness to light, because in encountering the risen Christ, we have come home. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed.